Hello everyone, my name is Chris Gibbons. I'm going to be your instructor for this course, HCA 410, an Introduction to Healthcare Finance. And in this video, what I would like to do is really go over a roadmap of the course and some of the learning activities and some of the things that you're going to need to do to be successful in this course. But before I do that, I would like you to do me a favor. Make sure that you have a physical copy of the syllabus in hand. The syllabus is kind of a roadmap of this course, and I think it's a nice resource to have, physical resource to have at the ready. So, if you haven't already printed that out, please pause the video, click the link below where you'll find a PDF, print out that syllabus, and then come back to the video. All right, well, hopefully you've come back, you've got that syllabus in hand, and let's take a look at that roadmap for this course. The first thing on the top of the syllabus is obviously my information and how to get in touch with me. You can use email, you can call me at my office number, I also have a cell phone number, and I do accept text messages. I found that as far as quick responses to short form questions, text messaging is best. It's actually the method I prefer to interact with you. I can usually get back with you if you have a short question, which 90% of the questions usually are, I can usually get back to you within minutes rather than hours or even a day. So don't be bashful. Please feel free to text me. I love it. If you have a little bit longer question, maybe it's a little bit more detailed, or you simply don't like text messaging, please feel free to use email, or you can call me at my office as well. I am available for appointments at a time that's convenient for you if we want to, basically have a meeting over the phone or maybe through Skype. So let me know about that. All right, so that's how to get in touch with me. All kinds of different methods. For those short form questions, I prefer text messaging. But again, completely up to you. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about what this course is. Obviously, the name kind of gives it away, doesn't it? Introduction to Healthcare Finance. And I find that students usually fall into two very well-defined camps. Those that hate finance, which is unfortunately, about 80 to 90% of the students, and those that are really geeked and really get excited about finance, and that's the 10 to 20% group, which, of course, I'm in, because I think it's great. Now, no matter which camp that you're in, what I hope by the end of this course that you appreciate the importance of finance in healthcare. A lot of us, including myself, come from a practitioner background, hands-on, direct patient care background. When you're focused in that particular dynamic, sometimes the money, the business aspect of healthcare really isn't front and center. But the most important thing to remember, even though it's not front and center, that front and center is obviously that patient care and getting those quality patient outcomes and helping people, but the support systems all around you are all financially based. If you think about it, are nurses going to show up to work if they're not getting paid? No. Are doctors going to show up to work not getting paid? No. Are we going to be able to build hospitals without the ability to get corporate bonds or to use capital resources to build hospitals? No. We can't buy imaging equipment without resources. Everything within healthcare has a financial connection, a financial aspect that brought it into being. So it's incredibly, incredibly important. Now, you may think, well, Chris, I'm not really interested in finance, but I'm going to take this course anyway because I've got to do it. Here's another thing to remember too, that even if you may not interact with some of the direct financial applications within healthcare, your job will. Your career will. Everything about your career and your profession within healthcare has a very serious connection to finances. So let's say, for example, you're a medical imaging professional like myself, and you notice that we're not, that scanner, that $1 million scanner that the department just bought is only getting used 4 times a day. If you notice that the techs are kind of sitting around, you don't have that patient volume before, these are all going to impact you if downsizing occurs. Now let's say you're looking at other areas where business is flowing and resources are going. you may want to think, hey, I want to take my career in that direction. So you're able to use finance to really help shape and guide your career choices to make sure that you have the optimal opportunities for your career and your career longevity. So again, it's all interconnected. Whether we like it or not, it's all interconnected. I kind of like it, and I hope that you at least appreciate it by the end of this course and understand that its value in predicting the future, if you will, or predicting current events within healthcare. It has some extreme powers there. All right, so there's a little bit about finance, why it's important from the big picture all the way down to your own professional advancement. Okay, so in this course, obviously, we're going to be going over some of the principles and the concepts, required for healthcare operations. We're going to be looking at those foundational healthcare statements. We're going to be looking at the balance sheets and income statement of cash flows. You may have heard of a few of those, but we're going to delve into those so you really understand what those are. Now, at the end of this course, I don't expect you to be a financial guru. Again, I hope that you have an appreciation of finance. What I hope also is that with the information that you learn, that if you're in a managerial or supervisory role, you're going to be interacting with financial information, and you're going to be making decisions based on that financial information. And that's where I think the exciting part is the decision-making part. And that's what finance helps you do. For those of you that have had an accounting class, or maybe even an accounting class with me, accounting was more of the language, more of the mechanics of putting together the information. With finance, we're actually going to do stuff with that information and be able to make decisions with that. And that's, as a leader, as a future leader, as an administrator, as a manager, you're going to be paid to make decisions, and a lot of those are going to come out of financial information, and you're going to need to apply financial principles to that decision making. All right, so that's what we're going to be going over in this class. Kind of a big picture. Let's talk about, of course, you want to talk about what are we doing in the class and the actual assignments. Here, of course, we have the add drop dates. Remember, this is only a 6-week class. Unfortunately, it's very compressed over the summer. Typically, this class is 8 weeks. So it's a 3 credit hour course run over 6 weeks. We're going to have a lot of material. Now, I've redesigned this course to make it more manageable, but also for us to be able to make the course learning objectives. So let's take a look at some of those learning objectives down here. You're going to be able to, by the completion of this course, describe the roles and responsibilities of finance that healthcare organizations and administrators use for effective decision making. You're going to demonstrate basic financial theories. You're going to be able to apply financial concepts that are commonly used. You're going to be able to explain some of the legal and regulatory financial requirements that affect healthcare organizations. And then you're going to be able to discuss the current issues and future trends. A lot of current issues, and there's a lot of hopeful future trends in healthcare, but it's totally crazy. It's kind of one of the most dynamic industries that's out there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about then the required material. One required material. Let me pull it out here. The Gopinski textbook, Healthcare Finance, an introduction to accounting and financial management. If you've taken the accounting course with me, we basically went through the first half. Now we're going to go through the second half. We do that. We try to use one textbook for both courses, save on money a little bit there. For those of you that have had this textbook before, you know that it's pretty dense. It's pretty technical. Okay, so I don't expect us to get down to the full technical level of this textbook, but we are going to lift out some of those important concepts as we go along. So don't get too frustrated if you find the reading really heavy. It might take a couple of readings, but don't work it to death if you really can't get past a point. This textbook is written on a couple different levels. It's written on both the baccalaureate level, which you're in, or a master's level. So it's kind of, but we're just going to take it to that baccalaureate level for this course. Okay, so one textbook. If you don't have the textbook, make sure that you've ordered it and it's on the way. You will find PDFs in the first few parts of the course for the reading, because I know some students may not have the textbook quite yet. If you are experiencing any significant delays with the textbook, please let me know right away, and we'll try to work something out for you. But I do have some PDF readings, again, for about the first week or so. Hopefully by then you would have that textbook. All right, so let's go into the stuff. So again, we made this class kind of lean and mean, but still a lot of content in there. We're going to focus our activities on progress journals. We'll have 2 of those. Progress journals are a way for you and I to connect about the course, about topics, kind of a lot of different areas. But we're going to do 2 progress journals in this course. You're going to have learning activities for every, I'm going to say, part. So keep that question in mind. We got modules, and we're going to have parts. So every part is like a little smaller unit of learning, and you're going to have a learning activity. It might be you might be applying some financial principles. You might be writing some definitions. So it might be some more mathy stuff, as students say, and some of it might be more just writing narrative. So there should be a nice mix of both. But as you can see from the point value, the learning activities are the biggest chunk of points in this course. And they're the most achievable points in this course. Just do them, put good faith effort into it, and you're going to do absolutely fine. If you kind of mail it in, well, you're not going to get the full points. If you let's say you're doing one of the math type questions, okay, and you get the wrong answer, no worries. As long as you've illustrated a process, and that process is what we've learned, you're going to get full points for that particular question. So make sure you do show your work, because I'm looking to try to give you points. If you just show me an answer and there's nothing to it, you're going to get a point deduction. There'll be more information about that as you get that. But again, long story short, just put the work into it, and you're going to do just fine with the learning activities. Very, very achievable. But will take some effort. We're going to have 2 midterm examinations, each worth 150 points. Those are going to typically be multiple choice questions. And then we're going to have 1 final exam at the end of the course, covering all the information in the entire course, comprehensive final, for 250 points. Now, what you don't see in here are any concept papers or quizzes. Again, really to kind of lean this class out a little bit, especially I really know this 6-week format is very difficult. I've kind of leaned it down to the essentials. So these are the essentials, and trust me, they're going to be enough. So let's take a look. Let's jump in for a moment. We're going to jump into the course itself, and let me show you how we're going to be structuring our weekly activities. We'll bring up the module area. Okay, so here, for example, you're going to notice the words parts being used. Okay, so we'll have, in Module 1, we'll have Part 1. And after a while, you'll see that there's actually multiple parts of learning within the course. So it doesn't always match up to a module, so don't let it confuse you. I hope it doesn't. But Module 1 will just be Part 1, and there's an introduction, there's the readings and presentations. Within the readings and presentations, make sure that you're watching all the videos, and there's usually videos in every part. Watch all the videos, and make sure you do the chapter readings that are required for that particular part. When you do your quizzes, or when you are doing midterms, I should say, and you have 2 of them, there are some questions on the midterms that are extracted from the videos. So, you know, could you still do well on the midterm without watching all the videos? Yeah, you might get a B. But that difference will be a couple of questions, enough to make it probably a letter grade. So you want to make sure you do watch all the videos. You're also going to find some things that are called homework help. Watch those as well. Highly recommended that you do that. You don't have to on the homework help, but it will help hopefully guide you in the right direction with those learning activities, the homework. And since we've really, there's so much weight, 400 points, almost half of the course is in those learning activities. You really want to do well on that. So if I'm putting any tidbits out there for you, make sure you're grabbing them and watching or reading anything that I put out that may help you, as you're going along in the entire course. So let's go back to the modules again. And here you'll see, just about every week, we're going to do 1 or 2 parts. You'll have a readings, presentations, an introduction, as you see here, and then a learning activity. You're going to have some of our weeks, you're going to be having 2 different parts in there. So let's say, example, in Module 3, we are going to be doing parts 3 and 4. I know that's going to be a little difficult, but you're going to have to kind of manage your time, and I'm going to give you some ideas, or I'm going to show you potentially how we can do that, help it be a little bit more manageable for you. But there are 2 modules where we're going to be doing a couple of different parts. Each part usually equates to about a chapter, and there's no way to really cleanly break it out to make everything even every week. I could have you read half of a chapter and then read other half of a chapter, but you're still going to have a learning activity associated with that. So there are some modules, 2 of them, that are going to be a little heavier than the others. So, and particularly, Module 3, where you're going to have your readings and presentations, your learning activity. You will have a midterm, your first midterms on parts 1 through 3. So you're going to stop there, do that midterm, and then you're going to do part 4 with another learning activity. And that pretty much goes on throughout the course. Again, only 2 modules that you're going to have with the double parts in there. That's going to be a little bit more heavy. All right, so how are we going to manage this? I said there's a way to potentially manage this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock all of the modules. You could technically finish the course in a week. No one will, but you could. So they're going to be unlocked. What that will allow you to do is to kind of work ahead. So especially, let's say, for example, in Module 2, and you get done, great. You got a little extra time. Jump into Module 3. That module. It's a little bit heavier. And start picking away at that Module 3. So when you get to that particular week, you're not doing the whole thing. And you'll be able to do that in the other, kind of the more heavier module, which I believe was Module 5. So I'm going to allow you make the choice. Up to you. You make the choice on how you want to balance it. It is definitely doable with, just doing a module a week. But, allowing you some flexibility, especially over the summer. I know that all of us, we try to squeeze in a little bit extra more family time. You still have work on top of that and school as well. Can really make it difficult. So we're going to try something a little different with this class, and we're going to unlock all of the modules so you can really flex it around on how you work. The one thing I would ask you to do, though, is make sure that you do work sequentially. The course is designed to work sequentially. So if you're one of these people who just love working ahead, and again, let's say you finish the class in 4 weeks, which you could do, just make sure that you're going, from parts 1 through 8 in a sequential manner. And with that, you'll be absolutely fine. All right, so that pretty much concludes, our walkthrough of the course. Again, it's going to be a little difficult because it is a 3 credit hour course over, 6 weeks. But plan your workout and work your plan, and, you'll be fine through that. And remember, if you have questions, how to get in touch with me, there's all different ways, right? You can email, you can phone, or you can text, especially for those quick questions. All right, well, that concludes this walkthrough, everybody. Looking so forward to this course and spending our time together learning about finance.